Hi everyone, Emily here, and today we're doing a video on choice making and and when to deliver choices. Delivering choices is a great antecedent-based strategy. Now, antecedent strategies, as we know, are things that you do before a behavior occurs, and they decrease the likelihood of unwanted behaviors happening. And delivering choices is one of the best antecedent strategies you can use to help you decrease the likelihood of unwanted behaviors. Today, we're going to talk about a few things with respect to choices, how to deliver them and when to deliver them. Let's get started with the when. There's a lot of opportunities to deliver choices that you might not even realize. In our daily lives, we get offered choices so much, and it helps us have a sense of control over our environment. So we want to mimic that and create that for the student we're working with, because ultimately it's going to give them control, it's going to increase their communication skills, their self-advocacy skills, and it's going to strengthen the rapport that you have with them. And those are all really great things that we want to see happening day in and day out. So when to deliver choices, you can deliver choices with respect to the order and the type of activity. So you can ask them, do you want to do a math activity or do you want to do a reading activity? And maybe you have two different math activities and two different reading activities. So once they pick the type, then you can say, okay, you want to do math first. Do you want to do geometry or algebra? So then you can have them pick the order of which they're doing. You can also go even further and provide choices with respect to the activity itself. So maybe you're doing coloring and you're offering choices of the color of markers to use. Do you want red or green? Do you want to color a big square or a little square? Do you want to color fast or slow? So those are some ways you can offer choices in simple everyday activities. Now you can also offer choices with respect to duration. So you can, if you know that you want the child to work for at least 10 minutes, you can say, okay, do you want to work for 10 or 11 minutes? And then you have them seemingly control how long they're working for, when in reality you know that you're setting the parameters from the beginning, but you're giving them the opportunity to make a choice. Same thing with the activity ending. So maybe they're doing an activity they really like, but you have to move on at some point. So you can say, hey, do you want 1 more minute or 2 more minutes? And that way you can build that in so that they can transition smoother and also have the choice to do so. So those are some examples of when to give choices. Now let's talk about how to do this. Every student has unique learning needs, and the way in which you provide choices will look different. Some students really do well with visuals such as symbols or icons, and maybe they match the type of AAC system they use, and you can provide them choices using their AAC device. Or you can have a black background with their symbols on it, maybe one in each corner of the board, or you have an array of 2. It really depends on your child, starting off small and then slowly increasing the amount of icons in your array is a really good starting piece of advice, because you don't want to overwhelm them, and you also want to make sure that they have some understanding of the icons representing something more than just that. You can also use objects, so you can provide the object itself. Do you want the green marker or the red marker? And having those objects right then and there can be a really great visual cue. They can see it, they can touch it, and that can help them make a choice faster, or just a more sound choice in that respect. You can also use your hands to represent something for students that might have some visual impairments or things like that. So you can say, okay, this hand represents coloring, this hand represents music, and they can tap your hand to indicate the choice they want to make. There's a lot of adaptive equipment such as bokehs and switches that can be used to help indicate choices as well. So those are some ways about how to do it. And like I said earlier in the video, choice making is a wonderful antecedent-based intervention that's going to ultimately increase communication skills, self-advocacy skills, strengthen the rapport you have with that child, and it's going to decrease the likelihood of unwanted behaviors. So I hope this was super helpful, and thanks again for taking time to watch the video.